Hello again, everybody. This is Tom Funk with Trail Tales. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to continue our hike on the North Country Trail, or as much of it as I can find. And I've been hiking roads for the past few days, mostly M28 and side roads. And I'm making my way to hiking trails again. And so this is my last day of asphalt Roadwalks. So pretty excited about getting this out of the way and hitting the trail again. So let's get going here. As you may recall, my friend Sean Miller has been tagging along with me, keeping an eye on me, scoping out logistics and campgrounds and things like that. So he was a big help with this trip and certainly made it more pleasurable because it was pretty miserable hiking on asphalt for so long. So I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday, near the intersection of US 41 and M98, and I'm going to end at the parking lot at Laughing Whitefish Falls State Scenic Site. So 10.5 miles today, trip total of 237.8. Today's weather mostly cloudy, low, it shows a question mark, so I'm not sure how low it got. The high of 78 and no bugs today, and again, a road walk. To the edge of the wood I am drawn. Sidney Lanier, an American poet. Drip, 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 drip. Rain. Why is it that it starts to rain right as I finish my day or the first thing in the morning? This is not just a rainfall. This one is a torrential downpour minus the wind. Looks like you aren't going anywhere today, Sean says, lying on his nimble back in the tent. What makes you think that, I say? You're not going to hike in this rain, are you? Protected not only by the tent, by the tarp overhead, this covering is rigged so that when the water reaches a certain amount, the tarp acts as a seesaw, dumping water away from us and far away at that. Well, here we go. I'm thinking if it's still raining at 11:30 a.m., it'll be a wash, I say, leaning towards taking a 0 day. And in addition, I didn't take a bath yesterday, and I smell odoriferous, so maybe it'd be a good day for a shower, I'm thinking. Well, Sean responds with, why 11:30? Well, I can be packed and ready by 12:30 on the trail by 1, and at a 6-hour pace to make it to, up to my end, that'd take me to about 7 p.m. I'll have to cut short breaks and such, and if it gets late, you can always come and find me, I say, expecting him to completely agree with me. Oh, I plan on walking today, part of your trail that you'll walk tomorrow, Sean says, sounding like he is looking forward to dropping me off and partaking on this adventure. Alrighty then, that's what we'll do. We'll meet you at Whitefish Falls parking lot at the end of the day. So it did stop raining, and we did get going, and, he brought me to my starting point. I feel kind of guilty having him drop me off, pick me up every day, and I constantly bring it up, but he is more happy to do so. As he put it, he is all out of range from work. He left his pager at home, and the cell phone doesn't work up here, and no one can find him. He is on vacation, and he is enjoying his time in the Upper Peninsula. I'm glad he is too. I would be having a rough time if it weren't for him, as I have mentioned. This would really stink if he wasn't keeping track of my sorry ass. So, the rain doesn't dampen my spirit, and it did not dampen my equipment either. So, around 10:30 is when we got going, and again, all road walking. Thinking about quitting yesterday does not put a damper on my travels today. Today is the last day of hiking highways for a while. Reuniting with my friend and companion, the North Country Trail, is my reward today. The North Country Trail, well, it's been pretty much non-existent since Surgeon Gorge Wilderness. Basically, there are some recommended road routes and a few little chunks here and there lost in the woods. My maps tell me to walk right through downtown Marquette and take M28 over to just north of Deerton. The trail starts just south of Deerton on the east side of Laughing Whitefish Lake. The North Country Trail essentially runs undisturbed from this point, with a few notable exceptions, I guess, but nothing major, like the 90-mile gap I just experienced. So there's going to be very few roadwalks until the Mackinac Bridge. So I'm pumped. I cannot wait to reach Laughing Whitefish Falls. Sean finds the exact location where he picked me up yesterday. In a different state of mind, I look forward, not thinking of quitting. The rain has washed my soul of that attitude. Although my feet hurt, I can meditate over the pain, thrusting me forward to my goal. US 41 starts in Copper Harbor, Michigan, and ends 2,000 miles later in Miami, Florida. I've been at both ends of this highway now I think about it. In fact, Copper Harbor, there's a sign that reads Miami, 1,977 miles. This highway is at the opposite ends of the pole as it pertains to civilized life. In Copper Harbor, there isn't a single stoplight. In Miami, a day does not go by when someone is shot sitting at one. Traffic is light, and soon enough, I enter my zone, a realm of thought that takes me to the four corners of the earth. However, reality strikes as I end up realizing I'm walking State Highway M94. Walking. Left, right, walking. Actually, I have a cadence. Ouch, 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 ouch. A few houses, mostly abandoned, dot the road. I wonder where these kids go to school. Then I see a small family, complete with dogs. One dog, a mixed breed, decides to come and visit me. The house and dog are on the opposite sides of the road, and this dog decides he will be the first to cross a major highway to greet me. This takes me out of my trance, and I notice not one, but two cars coming from both directions, and the dog from out of the ditch. Of course, these drivers are oblivious to the dog and to me. Stop! I yell. More so for the dog, but I'm waving my stick and spinning around so these idiots can see my reflecting vest. And they slow down. Maybe they're not from Michigan. I grab the dog by the collar as the cars pass by. Then I hear a voice. Get your ass back here! Some guy yells out the window of his double wide. Probably the father of the children. Why is it that any moron can have children, but you need a license to own a dog? One child, a girl, also crosses the road without looking both ways and comes to get the dog. About 9, she's wearing an off-white cotton dress. Sorry, she says, he likes to leave the yard. You need to put him on a chain or something. Put him in a pen. He could get killed, you know, I say softly to the little girl. Yeah, we know, she says, turns, walks back across this major highway, again, without looking. Near a crossroad called Dukes, there appears to be an abandoned railroad grade that once dissected the intersection of M94 and County Road 553. Again, another abandoned logging town. The Scandinavians called it Latola, which means grove. The locals called it Lawson, but Dukes was its official name. A post office survived here until 1963. Although it has been almost 60 years since a post office was here, all that remains are a couple of abandoned buildings. Yet another Upper Peninsula ghost town. Peppered with place names, the Upper Peninsula used to be booming with mining and logging activity at the turn of the century, most of which are no longer a functioning town, but their names forever live in the ink on my DeLorme map. With a 10-mile radius, there may be 100 people, but there are places like Selma, New Dalton, Lawson. Lawson is south of Dukes. I wonder what gives with that. Anyways, Carlshend, Maple Grove, Cedar Bank, and Ladoga. I'm sure they all have their storied history, but history has passed through the sieve of the modern man's brain. Mostly forgotten, these places are vulnerable for losing their history every time a map is revised in the area. I see a sign, a small, green, and it's full of boat holes. Welcome to Alger County. Alger County. I am now, quote-unquote, officially, as far as I am concerned, in the eastern half of the Upper Peninsula. This means, wow, I am halfway done. Halfway. Doesn't sound all that great. I have a lengthy way to go. But Alger is home to Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore and the Hiawatha National Forest and an extensive segment of the North Country Trail. A mile and a half later, I reached the booming town of Sundell. 4 seemingly vacant buildings, one on each corner, are what signify this location. There isn't even a sign welcoming me. Originally called Dorsey, the first postmaster here sent in her maiden name for the official name of the town, and it was accepted. Maybe someone took offense and took down the signs and designate this little burb. This is the intersection where I must walk 2 miles north to Laughing Whitefish Falls. Making very good time. It is 4 o'clock and I should be done shortly. Think of how close I am to finishing draws attention to how painful my feet hurt. It appears I have to walk down a scraggly paved road, down a steep hill, and right back the other side. Ouch, ouch, ouch. The pain is unbelievable. I don't think I could wish this upon my worst enemy. I take a seat and I hope that Sean would show up, pick me up, and bring me back to camp. I cannot take this throbbing anymore. Sitting in the grass, right next to the pavement, I lean back, resting my pack on the ground, extend my arms, propping myself up. Stretching my Band-Aid covered legs reveal the scars from the drunk fisherman episode, still physically scarring my legs. The psychological scars are not as noticeable, but it will be hard to trust others when camping in a daunting situation like that again. They're sitting, and I wiggle my feet to improve circulation. They're numb, dead to the world. I don't even loosen my laces. I just sit there and rest my dogs. Again, once I unlace my boots, there is no getting them back on until the following morning. In my pain-induced haze, I realized that all my naps were spent sleeping with combat boots on my feet. Finally, after realizing that Sean is probably already at the falls, I stumble to my tired feet and begin the steep ascent up the hill. Reaching the top, huffing and puffing, the road turns to gravel. There's a sign welcoming me to Laughing Whitefish Falls State Scenic Site. Yay! The gravel road winds about half a mile to the east to an unpaved parking lot. There, a hand water pump, a couple of picnic tables, and an information display that is in desperate need of repair. And there is Sean's car, but no Sean. He can find me. I'm not taking another step. So I sit there. A couple comes by, and I ask them if they've seen my friend. After describing him, they said they had not. After an hour, I decided to go looking for him. I leave my pack on the table and walk in on my sore feet. The walk is downhill through a hardwood forest of hemlock, beech, and maple. A few firs and spruces are present. I find a post on my right, which again is vandalized. All that remains is a small piece of plastic, maybe 1 inch by 4, that reads North Country Trail with an arrow pointing to the left. That's it? That's what's directing me towards Munising through this wilderness? Well, I continue to walk, and I see Sean coming up the hill. I walked your trail today about half mile in, he says. It's rugged. Make sure to follow the blue blazes because the trail is barely noticeable, he says. He's wearing a large fanny pack, and he looks like he could hang with me, but I dare not ask. Did you find the intersection where the North Country Trail goes east? No, but I didn't walk that far in. Want to check out the falls? How far away are they, I ask. A couple 100 feet, he says, pointing behind him. The ground cover is lush with rose-twisted stalk, Canada mayflower, and an assortment of ferns and mosses I can't identify. Who needs a waterfall to enjoy such a wonderful walk? Well, we do arrive at the falls, and we are not greeted by a thunderous roar like you would expect, but a mere whimper of a trivial waterway flowing down over a slippery rock into the canyon below. I was here yesterday, too, and there was a lot more water here today, says Sean, as I attempt to take a photo. Click. We walk back to the car, go back, drink a beer, and go to bed. Tomorrow, trails. So you may notice my reference to combat boots. I was wearing jungle boots. When I was doing my research on what kind of footwear to use on the trail, I was basically coming to the conclusion I'm going to be walking a lot of pavement, and probably the best thing for my feet is something with a very thick, durable sole. You may have heard in some previous podcasts that my brother, he was actually in the United States Marine Corps at the time, and I ended up buying a pair of jungle boots. And so jungle boots are really good in wet terrain. They've got really thick soles. It's just that what was happening is I was experiencing what they call toe chop. And the front of the boot was bending and hitting the top of my feet, and that was causing my tops of my feet to go numb. So it really wasn't, I guess it wasn't, it was soreness in the feet, and the toe chop kind of fatigued the nerves as I walked. So if I had to do it all over again, I don't know if I would have worn jungle boots, knowing what I know now. But I'm a big fan of thick soles and heavy boots. But I have used trail runners, and I kind of like those too. So when I pick up the trail again and try to finish this thing off, we'll see what I do. It may be a combination of footwear. So anyways, enough about my feet. Thanks for joining me on Trail Tales. This is Tom Funk with A Million Steps, and we will do this again. Thanks for joining me.